The Toronto real estate market is changing, and it's not just in prices or sales, but it's in expectations of the sellers putting their properties on the market. And I think buyers are really going to like which direction this pushes the market, and that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. My name is Tom Storey. I appreciate you being back here. I run a real estate team here in Toronto and do my best to put out educational content on this platform so that you can take that information and make better educated decisions. If you've learned anything new when you watch today's video, all I ask is you hit that like button and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not already. As you watch the video, if you think to yourself, okay, I want to talk to Tom about my specific situation, try to figure out what is the best move for me, you can go into the first link in the description and book a call with me at a time that works for you. There is something in every real estate market when things are changing that I would classify as the transition zone, right? So this happened during the pandemic. It also happened last year at the beginning of the rates going up, where there's a period of time, and usually it's like 3 to 4 month time frame where we know the winds are changing, like things are shifting, but sellers don't want to acknowledge it yet. Buyers have already pretty much figured it out because they've seen as they go and view properties that, hey, why is that one still on the market? Or that one sold for a little bit lower than I was expecting. But sellers are the ones that are usually the most stubborn because they're still seeing the price that they saw. And it's interesting. And I think it's just a trait of humans is like when we get a number stuck in our head, it's like, well, that's the number. And we need enough data to then prove to us how that's going to change over a period of time. But what this video is about is that it is changing. And I'm not talking about the stale listings that have been sitting on the market over a period of time and are obviously overpriced right now. I'm talking about new listings coming to the market right now. Now, what you could do is you could go and look at the average sale prices, the list versus sale price in specific areas, and that would tell you a lot of what you need to know. But I want to tell you something from conversations that I've been having with people who I'm selling their property for. And this includes condos, townhouses, detached, semi-detached properties, right? It's across the entire marketplace. And this is why I feel the winds are changing. Because when I was having meetings with sellers 2 months ago, they were still very, very fixated on a specific price because of the last property that sold, which is fair. If I wasn't in the industry and I was just looking at what was going on, I would feel the same way. And there wasn't enough data to show them that things had changed other than like my gut feeling and what I was seeing on the ground level, but there was nothing I could show them. But now as we move forward, I think we're like in month 3 of the 4-month transition zone, because all the people that are coming to the market right now, they seem to be a lot more realistic in pricing expectations. And what spurred me to make this video, because this is just a one topic video, because when I meet with sellers, we'll go over all the data. We'll go over sale versus list price, how many active listings there are, how many sales have actually happened in that asset class in the last 30 days. And we'll run the months of inventory numbers and show them why we should be pricing a specific way. Then we'll show them the average days on market for the percentage of the properties that are actually selling. And then it comes down to, okay, well, how do we want to go to the market, right? Because it's the market right now where you have to be in place 1, 2, or 3 against your competition to actually find a buyer. And usually I'll give our sellers a choice. And I'd say, here's the 3 potential strategies for us to go to the market. You can go at the sell now price. This is potentially under market value, but you will get all the eyeballs and it puts you as the absolute best option in your area. Then the second option is like, okay, what I know today is that this is likely the market value of your property, but it could still take a period of time to find a buyer. Even if we do everything the right way, it could still take 35, 40 days. And the third option is, well, if all the stars align, this is potentially, not what I'm guaranteeing to you, but potentially what could happen if you get multiple bids on your property and you find a buyer who absolutely falls in love with it. Now, this style of giving sellers options I've been doing for a long, long time. And typically we go with the market value price because I still don't believe you can underprice a property. Because even if you price it lower, the market will show up and it will bid it up to its actual value. But I do believe you can undersell a property. But what's been interesting to me is that these days, once the sellers look at all the data, for the most part, they're actually saying to me, hey, let's just go with the sell now price. I want to make sure that we can be in the percentage of properties that are selling every single month. And I think moving forward, you're going to see that in the numbers. Now, does that potentially mean that sales volume will go up because people are being more realistic on their prices, but then prices will come down? I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. But this is the first time in this version of a transition zone that I'm feeling that the expectations are very much changing on the seller's side. The Bank of Canada's upcoming announcement on the 25th, I think a lot of people definitely thought that was going to be a 25-point hike. Now with sales volume across all of Canada very much being lower, we'll see what's going to happen with that. I still don't think it makes any real difference long term here. Maybe a rate hike happening at the end of this year is a good thing because it means they'll start decreasing sooner than we expected next year. But again, that's anybody's best guess. Still only 50% of Canadians have felt the increase in mortgage rates. That's from a CIBC graph that they put out that showed the different type of mortgages that people have in 2025. And by the end of 2026, 100% of people will see the difference. So the next year to 18 months of real estate across Canada, obviously it's market specific. I think it's a big question mark because we still have the population numbers through immigration that are growing and people are going to need to live somewhere. But we're seeing a lot of that kind of flow into the rental market. But interest rates are high, right? They're over 6% pretty much across the board, depending on what term that you take. But what I can say with confidence is that the market is changing because expectations are changing. So if you're a buyer right now, do your due diligence, make offers on properties you think are A-class real estate that you're getting at really good prices, but don't overextend yourself. Don't get emotionally invested into it. Be as data-driven as you possibly can because I do think it will make a big difference. Thank you so much for watching this episode. My name's Tom Storey, and remember, home is where your story begins.